All right, Yahoo Fantasy Baseball Week 8. We're going to be taking a look at the Tucson Toros group. Derek Lowe equals Cheater took on Waveland and Sheffield in Week 8 action, and it's perhaps the biggest upset of the week as Derek Lowe equals Cheater picked up the victory. 5, 3, and 2 overall. For the week, Derek Lowe equals Cheater now sits 29, 44, and 7 on the year, while Waveland and Sheffield still in the top half of the standings, sits 40, 32, and 8. Let's break this one down, see how this went down. Cheater didn't win until week 7, now on a 2-week win streak, so things have turned around a little bit for Derek Lowe equals Cheater, while Waveland and Sheffield is experiencing the first losing streak of the year. Split 2 categories this week, had the 2 ties this week for the 3rd time this season and 3rd time in 5 weeks, so very interesting statistical analysis there. Cheater had season highs in stolen bases and the best whip of the season, and had season lows in wins, but forced a split in that category this week. The win column was not pretty for either team. Double-digit homers, though, for the 5th straight week. The long ball is king for Derek Lowe equals Cheater, but no saves. 7 of 8 weeks played, no saves yet again. Waveland had a season low in saves this week. No other highs or lows of note. On offense, things went a 2, 2, and 1 split. While on the mound, Cheater took 3 out of 5 to claim the victory and split the win column, the win category. Tight battles, though, in about half the categories across the board, so this match really could have gone either way, especially with the 2 categories that were split. Waveland could have walked away a big-time victor, while Lowe could have walked away an even bigger victor, but things shook out rather even overall, with Lowe picking up the win. On offense, though, Cheater had 7 players with a homer. That's fantastic long ball production. As we mentioned, double-digit homers for the week. Corey Hart had 3 homers himself, had 8 RBIs to go with that. Just 9 players were used, 10 slots to start with, or 10 starter slots on the team, and 9 players were used. 2 inactive players are on the bench, and 1 disabled list player is on the starting lineup. So Cheater's definitely got some lineup issues, but survived nonetheless. Hanley Ramirez had 3 stolen bases this week. That's good production out of him, especially after the rough week he had in the media last week after dogging it on a play and getting benched following that effort. Nate McClough struggled, though, for Cheater. He only hit .063 for the week and had 0 RBIs. Adam Lind, he also struggled. He only had a run and hit .174 for the week. So definitely some holes in that Cheater lineup. Waveland and Sheffield had 4 homers from Albert Pujols. Pujols is back this week. The rest of the team only had 3. So Pujols outpaced the rest of the squad for Waveland and Sheffield. All 10 players used got at least a run, though. That's fantastic. And Alfonso Soriano was the only player without an RBI. Everybody else on the team had at least 2. So across the board production, definitely helping out in those categories. 5 players hit over 300 for the week. Also great offensive statistics there. On the mound, Cheater got the results that that team needed, though. The lone victory was Giovanni Gallardo. I believe he pitched a shutout in his matchup. He had a win, 7 Ks and a 0 ERA, and 3 pitchers with a 0 ERA for the Cheaters roster. Also, no whip on the team above 1.6. That's fantastic, and 3 pitchers had a whip under 1. So the pitchers, as we mentioned, got it done for Cheater. Also, though, the fewer innings from Cheater, because Cheater not setting the lineup, not really making a lot of moves, and using some pitchers that aren't really picking up a whole lot of innings, probably picked up the whip and ERA categories based on that to a large degree. The fewer pitchers used and fewer innings provided, if they pitch well, you're going to take those categories almost every time. Waveland Sheffield's lone win was from Andy Pettit. Zach Greinke, Barry Zito, Kevin Millwood, Ted Lilly, and Felix Hernandez had no wins. Those 5 guys should be picking up wins. None of them picked up a win this week for Waveland. The win column continues to be a struggle for Waveland and Sheffield. Although 4 pitchers had an ERA of 0 this week, that's very good. And Bobby Jenks, no saves, had a 13.5 ERA out of the pen for the White Sox, so that's definitely hurting. But Carlos Zambrano set to return to the Chicago Cubs starting rotation. That could be a boost for Waveland and Sheffield in that win column, possibly the K column if Zambrano can get back on his feet. So following the upset, heading into next week, Derek Lowe equals Cheaters, now 13th in the standings, only 3.5 games out of 12th. Remember, top 12 make postseason action. Unfortunately, though, taking on defending champion Jimmy Dugan. They split their series, 1-1 last year, but they are on opposite ends of the spectrum this year, so it should be interesting to see if Cheater can maybe play the spoiler role yet again. While Waveland and Sheffield's going to be 5th in the standings after all said and done with Week 8, heading into Week 9, taking on Lucky, only 6.5 games out of first, so Waveland's still looking good despite being upset this week.